whether the team is performing clean or unsightly. We'll cover it all here on Washington Football Nightly. I, of course, am your host, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. Let's get to tonight's lead story. So we really didn't have an opportunity with all the news that broke yesterday about this team and Dwayne Haskins to cover the game that actually took place on Sunday. Really disappointing effort from the team. Opportunity to clinch the division, slam the door on the rest of the NFC East, and have a great opportunity to rest guys that absolutely could use a week off. Alex Smith, Terry McLaurin, Antonio Gibson, Morgan Moses, just to name a few that could use a week off heading into the postseason. Instead, all hands are going to be more likely than not on deck. If possible, we still don't know what the situation with Terry McLaurin is going to be. He's got a high ankle sprain. I don't like that prognosis. I didn't know that it was a high ankle sprain until Ron disclosed that yesterday. So that's news to everyone. That's not good news. And it makes sense that he didn't play last week, and it probably is going to make sense that he won't play this week either. So had a chance to watch the Cowboys-Eagles game. We'll talk about that a little bit later on and my take on that as far as what that challenge will pose for us on Sunday. But I want to go back to week 16 against Carolina and talk about this game. I really haven't given you my full breakdown of this game. Obviously, we were all upset after the loss. And so I wanted to get your comments because I have plenty of time to talk about this stuff. I want to hear from you guys. And so we did that the last 2 days, essentially, especially with the Dwayne news yesterday. We spent pretty much 2 hours, damn near 3, talking about that situation and then some other things as well. But I want to talk about this Carolina Panthers game. 20-13 loss to the Panthers, drops Washington to now 6-9 on the season. Everything they want still right in front of them. They win. They're in 7-9 division champions. Disappointed in the fact that we weren't able to get to 8-8 and continue the tradition that is no losing records winning this division. And, I'm a division guy. I'm a sucker for the NFC East. That's our family. And, I can't stand them, but they're family anyway. And so while I will more than welcome all of the abuse from other family members, and I love it when you guys toss out the abuse to them as well. I don't like it coming from the outside. You're not a part of this family. Don't comment on family business, okay? Don't comment on family matters. Everybody's got their 2 cents, and that's fine. But once you cross the line and you start talking about the family, that's when I got to intervene. So, I'm a family guy. I like to keep the family clean. And 7-9 isn't exactly what I was looking for. But look, beggars can't be choosers. At this point, I want the division. I want it so bad I can taste it. And there's still people out there that don't think that it's the best thing to do. It was one thing if someone was going to win this division at 5-11. Then you could say it's not worth it. You lose the division and you're going to have a top 10 pick. If you lose the division at 6-10, you're not picking in the top 10 of this draft. You're picking on the outside of the top 10. You're picking at 11, 12, 13. The difference between picking at 13 and picking at 19 isn't great enough for you to want to lose the division to get a top pick, okay? So that whole narrative, that shit is done. It's dead. If this division was what it was 2 months ago when nobody looked like they were going to win 5 games, then yeah, you could say, hey, you're literally 1 game out of winning the division and 1 game out of being the 7th pick in the draft. Well, that makes a huge difference. But if you're telling me the difference between winning the division, feeling good about yourself, and having all these guys experience what it feels like to have success at 7-9 and getting the 19th pick in the draft, and I don't give a shit if we're 1 and done or not. That's not a good enough excuse to not want to go to the playoffs, or we're just going to go and lose. So effing what? They need to taste what it feels like to be in postseason football. They need to know this is the standard. This is what we're shooting for every year. If we don't hit the playoffs, then this season was a failure. And at some point, you'll get to a point where just making the playoffs isn't good enough. We're not there yet. Just making the playoffs is good enough right now. And some of you just fail to see that. I don't understand how that doesn't make sense to you. And in the whole narrative and that whole discussion of, well, we're going to have a top pick if we win the division, we're going to have a terrible pick. That the whole theory is debunked. Because again, the Cowboys, if I'm not mistaken, they sit with the 12th pick in the draft right now. If we win the division and we lose in wild card weekend, we'll be the 19th pick in the draft, and the Cowboys sit at 12 right now. What's the difference between 19 and 12? Don't tell me it's Zach Wilson, because he's not going to be there at 12. Don't talk to me about, this player or that player. Just get the best player that's at your pick. That's all I'm concerned with. And if you love a guy that much, that you got to have him trade up. But don't tell me that the difference between 7 spots is enough for you to lose the division. Because if that is your idea of building a winner, a sustainable winner, then I'm going to call you a loser, because that's loser talk. Let's go through the keys to the game, because that game was so frustrating on so many levels. I can't believe we lost to the Carolina Panthers. They're not even good. And I went back and watched this game, and I'm like, they're sorry. And when you say things like that, what does that make you? And I know better. I know they beat us because we turned it over 6 times. I know that they beat us because the officials weren't on our side. I'm aware of all of these things that transpired in the game, but you can't beat yourself. When you beat yourself, you allow teams that aren't better than you to beat you. And that's what we did again. And that's the frustrating thing with this team. And they're young. And I talked about this before the season started. There are going to be growing pains. I told you, I'm a Memphis Grizzlies fan in the NBA. And I remember watching the team last year, and it was so much fun because we were young and we were dumb and nobody expected anything of us. And we made it all the way to the play-in game. But along that way, along that journey, there were games that were very maddening because you would turn it over and you would see all of the mistakes that are made by a young team, and it would just make you want to pull your hair out. But it's what comes with being young. And that's what we are. You see the exuberance, the hubris with this young team, but you also see the mistakes that come with it. Steven Sims wants to make a play, but you have to understand risk versus reward. The risk wasn't good enough for you to try to run with 2 defenders standing right in front of you. Fair catch it. The reward, you weren't going anywhere. Fair catch the football. He was worried about getting hit and what move he was going to make. He took his eye off the ball. It's no different than when he drops the football. When a pass is thrown to him. When he doesn't look it in. When he's worried about, like he was against the Steelers, getting up the field. I'm going to make a big play. That's when he drops the football. He took his eyes off the ball. You could see it plain as day. He's looking up. He looks down, sees the 2 defenders, and he's like, all right, they're right here. Should have just called fair catch. Even if it's late. Call the damn fair catch. Anyway, let's go through these keys to the game, man. It just, we did it against the Giants twice. Like, that's the thing that's frustrating is you lose these games like this one against Carolina, the 2 against the Giants, and you're like, oh, we're better than those teams. We're better than those teams. I can stomach the losses to the Arizonas and the Baltimores and the Rams and the Seahawks, even though I thought that was a winnable game. I can stomach those. The ones that just eat at me and this is what happens every year when it comes down to this. If we were 4-11 right now, we wouldn't be having this discussion. I wouldn't be looking back at the season and saying we should have won this game. It's only when you're close. I remember when I used to play basketball. The games when we got our ass whooped and we lost by 23, you don't reflect on the pivotal moments of the game. You lost by 23. So what if you would have hit that 3 in the corner? So what if you would have made that free throw? You still lost by 23 points. It's the games where you lost by 1 or you lost by 2 and you think to yourself, damn, if I didn't throw that ball away on that fast break, we might have got a shot up. We might have been able to score on that possession. If I would have knocked down that open 3 on the wing we might have won the game. If I didn't miss that damn front end of that 1-1, maybe we would have won the game. Maybe this game goes to overtime. Maybe you just think about all the little mistakes you made during the course of the game. When you lose a 1-run game in baseball, you think about that error in the sixth inning. Damn, what if we would have turned that double play and got out of the inning? You think about what about that pass ball that the catcher couldn't stop? Shit, you think about all the little things that you didn't do right. And when I look at this season and we're sitting here with week 17 with everything on the line, and I start looking back at the games, because that's the only reason you do that, is if you get to the point of the season where you miss out by a game or you should have already clinched, you start looking back at what you could have done to avoid being in this situation. And I look at 3 games in particular. You want to throw the Lions game in there? Go ahead, be my guest. But I didn't think we were going to beat the Lions anyway. It's the 2 Giants games, and it's this game right here. Had no business losing any of them. Any of them. We're better than those 2 teams. It's hard to say that. Every time I say that to a Giants fan, well, we swept you, and we've beat you 4 times in a row. 5 if you go back the year before that. What are you going to say? Can't say anything. But we're better than them. We're better than them. We're better than the damn Carolina Panthers. And we let them come into FedEx and beat us. And that shit is frustrating. Because even with all the mistakes made by Dwayne in the offense, if they would have made a decision sooner on Dwayne, I still think this game was salvageable. The Panthers are not good. And I hate to even bring the defense into this, but they are just as culpable. Even though they made plays, it's like that whole arsonist theory. The guy that sets the fire so that he can be the hero to put it out. Like, that's what the defense was in this game. Yeah, Chase Young forced a fumble after a 10-minute drive. Well, damn it, we're down 20-3. We need all the time we can get to try to score. We need every opportunity, as many as we can get. You give up a 10-play drive to open up the second half? Before the offense even touches the football, there's less than 6 minutes left in the third quarter? Are you kidding me? Let's get to the keys to the game. So, defense against Panthers offense. No cheapies. I said that we had to make Carolina earn it. Like, don't give up big plays. So the Steven Sims muffed punt into the end zone, recovered for a touchdown. Doesn't get much bigger than that. I mean, that's 6, directly giving them 6 points in a 0-0 game. You are better off going 3 and out, having not gained a yard and letting Tress Way punt the football in that situation than to muff it. Worst case scenario, you muff it and it doesn't get kicked into the end zone and they recover it right there. And at least the defense has a chance to play opportunity to stop them and force them to kick a field goal. It probably wouldn't have, but at least they have a chance. We've got one of the best red zone defenses in the league. Well, never got that chance. That's a backbreaker. 6-0. Can't give up any cheapies. You give up a 44-yard run to Curtis Samuel. Can't give up any cheapies. You give up a 45-yard pass to Curtis Samuel on 3rd and 7. Come on, guys. Seriously. Why? So that's a fail. Epic fail. No cheapies. We gave up a bunch of cheapies. It's been one of the bugaboos of this team this entire season is we just can't seem to not give up a 40-plus yard play or a 30-something yard gain in a game. It seems like it's just inconceivable to this defense to not give up a big play. We'll make so many good plays, but there's always 1 or 2 of those stinkers in there. Happened again this week. The next key was tackle. I actually thought we did a quality job tackling throughout the game. I didn't think we were terrible like we were a week ago against Seattle tackling. Thought we did a better job in this game. Was it A1 official like it was against the Steelers? Or, and even there were some struggles in that game early. But, was it A1 like it was against the Cowboys? I think that was the best tackling performance of the season against the Cowboys the second time around. No, it wasn't that. But it was it was suffice. It was good enough. So that one is a check. Contain Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy! Yeah, we did that. And when I say contain him, I'm talking about as a runner, not as a passer. Thought he did some good things as a passer, but he had those black Alex Smith numbers that we always talk about. If we would have had those numbers in the game, we would have won. 19 of 28 for 197, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. That's the kind of shit he did against us. That would have been good enough for us to win the game. That's all we needed. We didn't need a guy to go out and try to be a damn hero. We just needed somebody to manage the damn game, which is what Teddy did. But I wasn't talking about Teddy the passer. I was talking about Teddy the runner. Don't let him break our back. He had 1 third down scramble, and we forced a fumble on that thing, but they recovered it. Other than that, 6 carries, 7 yards. He didn't do any damage. So check mark there as well. This was a big one too. Get off the field on third downs, and I wanted 1 turnover. So we get a half of that piece of the puzzle, okay? Because we forced 3 turnovers in this game, 2 officially recorded as turnovers, and then 1 fourth down stop by Daron Payne early in the game. As a matter of fact, the very first Carolina Panthers possession of the game, Daron Payne gets the sack on 4th down. We got tremendous field position. That was, to me, the most frustrating part, is that we had great field position early in this ball game. Some really outstanding field position, and we squandered it. You can't ask for better field position on that second possession. We go 3 and out, punt the football. Carolina drives it into Washington territory. We get the stop. Daron Payne sacks Teddy Bridgewater right around like the 42 or 3 yard line. We got first and 10 from our own 42 or 43. We run it a couple of times. We get into Panthers territory. We're feeling really good about ourselves. And then they decide, oh my God, we got some success on the ground. We got to throw it now. We got them where we want it. We got to go play action fake. No, Scott. Keep pounding the rock. They haven't stopped it yet. Why are you changing it up? Peyton Barber just ripped off an 11, 12-yard run. What are we doing right now? Why do you feel the need to have to drop Dwayne back? Where's the psychological sense in that? You need to wash your face and get your mind right. Thought he was awful in this game. And even when I go back, and I haven't watched the film, I'm so frustrated. I haven't watched the film yet. But even if I do and I see open receivers, I don't care. I don't care. I wanted to run it. I don't care. I wanted to run it. Run the damn ball. They won't stop it. But we didn't get off the field on third downs. They were 6 of 15, which you say to yourself, hey, that's not that bad, Louie T. Right, that's 40%. That's right around the league average. That's not terrible. We're better than that. But that's 40%. I'm not going to kill them for that. But you know what made it worse? Was they were 2 of 3 on 4th downs. That brings those important downs up to 8 for 18, which is right around 44%. That's not good enough. Now we're trending towards 50%. That's not good enough. So we didn't do a good enough job getting off the field. And a lot of that getting off the field on third downs came in the second half, which is the theme of the season. We already know what that's about. So on the defensive side, 2.5 of the keys to the game. Let's see what the offense was able to provide. And you know this isn't going to be good. Washington O versus Panthers D. First thing on the list, I stressed this so much because I said the Panthers on their own merit aren't good enough to beat us. If we don't turn it over and we just play a clean game, they're not good enough to beat us. Similar to the San Francisco 49ers. I said the same exact thing. If we don't beat ourselves, and we had 1 turnover in that game. Alex Smith threw a turnover, an interception, but it was in San Francisco territory, so they still had to take the ball and move it 75 yards if they wanted a touchdown. And they weren't able to do it. And I said, if you just don't help them, we'll beat them. They're not good enough to beat us on their own merit. They need help. That's why they're 4-10. So the first key was protect the Duke. Who didn't see this one coming? Protect the Duke. That's all you got to do. 6 turnovers. 4 recorded, muff punt by Steven Sims, 3 turnovers by Dwayne Haskins, including 2 interceptions and a fumble. 2 failed 4th down conversions. So to me, that's 6 turnovers. You don't win in this league with 6 turnovers. Even if you get 3 back, which we did. You don't win in this league with 6 turnovers. That's pathetic. But you know what? We've seen this before. You did it against Cleveland. You did it against the Giants the second time around. That's what happens when you turn the football over. You lose football games. Even if the team you're playing is 4-10. Be balanced. Scott Turner really let us down in this game. And I always have to do this because some of you love to bash Scott Turner and you think I'm on your side. I'm not. Scott Turner has done a phenomenal job this year. There are times, and again, some of you don't understand this either. He's a first-time offensive coordinator. He's learning just like everybody else is. He's learning the personnel. He's learning the rhythm and flow of a game. He still doesn't have that down pat, I think. I think there are times where he gets caught up in, I got to get to this play. Instead of, man, this is working. Let's just stick with this. And you see that with coordinators from time to time where they got all these plays that they want to get to, and they're so preoccupied with, I need to get to this call. We worked this in practice. We know they're going to give us this look. I got to get to this play. F that play right now. Put that shit on the back burner. The run is working. We're getting 6, 7 a pop. We'll put that away for later. You know, you got a whole game to call that play that you dying to get out there. That play action where you run that scissors concept that you're dying to get out there, we can run that shit in the 3rd quarter. If they're not stopping the run, we're going to keep pounding the rock on these bastards. And he hasn't figured that out. You know, and it's crazy because Joe Brady, who also is a first-year offensive coordinator, but this isn't his first time calling plays. He did it in college last year. He understood that. When the Panthers marched the football down the field on a 10-play, 75-yard drive right down our throats and didn't pass it one time, 10 runs into the end zone. He understood that. Unfortunately, our coordinator did not. So when you look at the disparity between pass and run, we had 16 called runs in this game. 16. In a game that we were never fully out of, even at 20-3. But it got to 20-3 when the disparity was already starting to shift towards the pass. We had almost 50 passing attempts, 16 runs. Called runs. Now, 19 total because Taylor Heineke came in and ran it 3 times. 19 total runs. And if I'm not mistaken, 48 passes between the 2 quarterbacks. Like, why? I'm putting that one in the lap of Scott Turner. There have been times where he's had some brain farts down by the goal line without Antonio Gibson. He's lost his damn mind in some of these games. The Steelers game comes to mind. The 49ers game is another example of him just forgetting that, oh, we can run the ball down here. It is okay to do that. And he held even the Seattle game. He made us sweat it out till 3rd down before he realized, I should put Peyton in and run it with him, huh? Yeah, Scott, that's a really good idea. A really, really outstanding idea. Damn, the dude is damn near automatic. What's the problem? I don't understand. Anyway, we weren't balanced. I said all of that to say this. We were far from balanced against a team that showed little to no resistance at stopping the run. We weren't balanced. I don't understand. I don't. And we're not even a line up and smash you in the mouth type of team. And we were even doing that in this game early. We put Peyton Barber in and we didn't spread them out. And that's usually when we're our most successful running the football. We said, no. We're going to bring in the big nasties and we're going to pound it. And we got a 12-yard run. And you would have thought Peyton Barber fumbled on that play because we didn't see him again after that. I just don't understand. There were drives where Dwayne threw it 3 straight times and we punted. How is that possible? There are drives where Dwayne throws it in the triple coverage on first down. We come back and we run it on second down and we get, 4 and it's 3rd and 6 and we throw it again and we got to punt. What are we doing? Why? Spread the rock. I thought we did that as well as you could expect with no Terry. 6 guys touched the football. It was the same usual suspects, though. I was hoping to get an AGG or somebody like that involved. They tried a couple of times. He just doesn't look comfortable right now. Everything seems to be overwhelming him. This is a lost season for Antonio Gandy Golden, and that's okay. The guy has barely played this year. He had no offseason, had no preseason, has been hurt for much of the season. Just chalk this one up to a wash, a lost season. All right, he's a red shirt essentially this year. I'm expecting big things from him next year. Hopefully he stays healthy and is able to give us something. But this was a disappointing rookie season for him because he didn't play. That being said, same usual cast of suspects. Gibson, McKissick, Thomas, Steven Sims, Cam Sims, and we also involved Robert Foster, who had the biggest play of the game outside of the 50-yarder by Cam Sims. He had a 28-yard catch and run, did Robert Foster. So no Isaiah Wright. That's fine. No biggie. 6 different guys touched the football. You get a check for me there. They spread the rock around. But this one was another one of the ones that really just was frustrating, this last offensive key to the game, because the Panthers flipped the script. And I knew this was a realistic possibility if they got on top of us, but I didn't think they would be able to do it to us this way. Shorten the game. Leave no points on the field. They shortened the game on us. They gave us a dose of our own medicine. Without Terry and, having Dwayne in there, my whole thought process was, hey, let's get up on these boys early. Let's jump out to a commanding lead, and then let's just take the air out of the football. Remember that Eagles game when we got up on Philly late 27-17, and we just took the air? Like, Peyton Barber had 17 carries for 29 yards. He was going nowhere fast. But you know what? We didn't give a shit. It was a race to the end of the clock. It was a race to all zeros at that point. And that's what I wanted to do. Just get up on these boys, just like they did us, 20-3, and say, all right, you can't score 17 points to tie it, and you can't score 18 to win it. You're just not going to have enough time. And even though we had enough time, technically, when Taylor Heineke came in and he made plays, we got down there 3 times. The officials took one from us. We scored on another one. And unfortunately, we didn't get it back that last time that we needed to get it back. We got down there twice, actually. I'll take that back. The officials took one from us, and then we scored on the second one. So we just needed it one more time. But that's where that drive in the third quarter comes into play. And again, that's where if Ron would have pulled the trigger sooner, we might have had a shot. But that's when that drive in the third quarter where the Panthers, to open up the half, ate up damn near 10 minutes of the clock, that's when that drive comes into play. Because you needed more opportunities. You needed more opportunities. Like that Seahawks game, they went up 20-3, but the reason we had a chance is because they scored a touchdown to go up 20-3 within the first minute and a half of the second or third quarter, the second half. It was literally 3 plays, a run, another run, and then a run for 50 yards and a touchdown. It was a 12-yard run, then it was like a 6-yard run, and then it was a 50-yard run. Touchdown, we get the football. And they literally gave us ample opportunities to possess the football in the second half. We forced punts. We got a turnover. So we had ample chances to try to come back in that game, down 20-3. We didn't have that in this game. They killed the third quarter clock. So they shortened this game and said, hey, you're going to have 4 chances to touch the rock. Dwayne effed around on a 4th and 2 and didn't get rid of it. And then Taylor Heineke came in and got 3 possessions. Or was it 2? I think it was 2 possessions. So we might have had 3 possessions. I'm going to look it up right now. See how many possessions we had in the second half. I bet you it's no more than 5. I think it's probably 4. Panthers ate up the first 8 minutes and 3 seconds of the third quarter clock. We got the football with 6 minutes and 57 seconds left in the third quarter. That's an atrocity. One possession there, Dwayne fails us. We ended up, no, this is the possession where he hits, I think, Cam Sims on that third down run around. We get down to the 8-yard line and we got a punt, kick a field goal. So that's one possession. That's the end of the third quarter, by the way. We don't get another possession in the third quarter. The Panthers get the football and they run out the rest of the third quarter. And they get into the fourth quarter and we get the football with 14 minutes and 14 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And then this is the last Dwayne drive here. 4th and 2 from the Carolina 36. And you got 2 guys wide open. And Logan Thomas open on one side and Cam Sims wide open on the other side. And he decides, nope, I'm not going to throw it to either one of them. I'm going to try to run. Get sacked. That was his last play as a Washington football team member. We finally forced a 3-and-out. Haven't done that since the first quarter. So this is our third possession. This is when Heineke finally comes in, takes us all the way down the field, and they jerk us around on the touchdown to Logan Thomas. And that would have happened with 3 minutes and 41 seconds left. Had that touchdown counted, it would have been with 3:50 left on the clock, and we would have still had all 3 of our timeouts. Let's see. Had Cam Sims caught that pass down to the 2, that would have been with 7 minutes and 23 seconds left. So we would have had, with all 3 of your timeouts, we'd have had ample time to try to come back. And that's what, you got to make plays when they're there to be made. Somebody was complaining about pass interference. It might have been pass interference. Catch the damn ball. Forget about the pass interference. Catch the damn ball. That ball couldn't have hit him any better. Right in both his damn hands. Catch the damn football. So that's our third possession of the fourth quarter, and then we get it one more time. And we score on that one, and we don't get it again. 4 damn possessions in the second half. 4. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. For the game, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 possessions in the first half to 4 in the second. Just 4. Ouch. Anyway, I digress. They shortened the game on us. They gave us a dose of the medicine that I was trying to provide for them. You got to give them credit, man. It's a hell of a performance by Carolina. They played spoilers. They played it well. We gave them every opportunity to do so, and they took advantage. And I told you it's like looking in the mirror. They're a young team, first-year head coach. Got a bunch of young guys out there that don't know any better. They're running around, playing hard for their coach in their first year. They just trying to make plays, man, and that's what we are essentially. And you just couldn't turn it over, and we did. And that was the frustrating part. Is they weren't going to beat us if we just played complimentary football. Just if it's not there, punt it on third down. Make them earn it. Just don't turn it over. Don't give them short fields. Couldn't do it. In other news, I just want to talk about the Eagles game coming up, kind of preview that a bit. I want to start with Eagles-Cowboys from last week. Eagles jumped out to a 14-3 lead. Dallas stormed back, took the lead before half, 20-17, and never looked back. That was an impressive win by Dallas. They scored, 24 unanswered points in that game to beat Philadelphia 37-17. Watching Jalen Hurts, he's going to be a problem for us because he uses his legs. But just like he was at Oklahoma, he can be very careless with the football. He threw an interception, a bad interception in the end zone. He fumbled another one that Dallas was able to recover. He had another fumble that the Eagles were able to recover. So if you can get to him, you can force him to make. Just the problem is getting to him. And I've talked about this. Everybody, oh, Cowboys defense is trash. Yeah, but they're fast and they're athletic. So if the front seven isn't the problem, it's always the back end. And the Eagles had opportunities on the back end. They made plays. They just self-destruct. There was one time where Andy Dalton gets picked off by Darius Slay. Eagles start out at the Dallas 20, I want to say like the 29. They get a nice little gain down inside the Dallas 25. And then they did some shit that we would do. Like we did against Detroit, where we self-destructed and go backwards. They had like 3 penalties in a row. And it ended up being like 3rd and 24. And they ultimately, I think, had to punt on that possession. It's like, are you crazy? What? But that's what bad teams do. They're 4-10-1. That's what 4-10-1 teams do. They're not a good team, but guess what? Carolina wasn't a good team either, and we lost to them. So it's family business. You know what this is. I thought Jalen Hurts did some really good things. Deshaun Jackson is back. He'd love nothing more than to spoil our party. He had a big 81-yard touchdown against the Cowboys. So we know what he's all about. Last year in the first game of the season, he blessed us twice. Turned that game around. So we know Deshaun Jackson, fully capable. They're healthy. The healthiest they've been all season. They got Deshaun back. They got Alshon Jeffrey back. They got both their tight ends, Ertz and Goddard. They're fully strapped. They're ready to go. Got their running back, Miles Sanders. Their offensive line is still a mess. But as far as their skill guys are concerned, with Jalen Hurts, they got everybody, all hands on deck. This is why I didn't want the smoke. I didn't want it. Because I told you before the season, Dallas is the most talented team in the division, and you're starting to see that. The Eagles are the second most talented team in the division. Then we're third, and the Giants are last. You're getting the Eagles at full strength, essentially. Now, the defense has some holes. They got some injuries. They got some guys that aren't coming back, and that's fine. But we're not the team. Like, Dallas is like, don't look at what Dallas did, and this is what a lot of you make the mistake of doing. You look at what somebody else does and said, well, if this team does that, then we should be able to do. We're not them. We don't have CeeDee Lamb. We don't have Michael Gallup. We don't have Amari Cooper. We're not them. We can't do what they just did. We don't score 37 points. That's not who we are. So we're not going to be able to take advantage of Jaquette, their corner. We don't even have our best wide receiver, and even if he plays, he's not 100%. So we're not going to be able to take advantage. The Cowboys went after the same guy the entire game. Wherever he was, they lit his ass up. Jaquette is the name of the corner. Wherever he went, that's where the ball went. And so we're not going to be able to take advantage of that. We don't have one guy that's going to be able to spank him the way that the Cowboys, whoever was on, CeeDee Lamb got a big touchdown. Michael Gallup had 5 catches for 130 yards and a touchdown at halftime. Amari Cooper, by the time the third quarter was over, 3 catches, 115 yards. We don't have guys that do that. So don't look at what Dallas did. Oh, the Eagles defense stinks. Yeah, but we're not scoring 37. We're not capable of doing that. Not unless the defense wants to jump in and get a defensive touchdown or set us up with some prime field position. That's not what we do. So don't look at what Dallas did and say, we can do that. No, we can't. It's not who we are. So it's frustrating because all the makings of a trap game are right here. They're right in front of us. The Eagles are laying the trap. And if we're not smart, we will walk right into the trap and it's going to snap. And the Cowboys will walk right into the postseason. Don't mind if I do. And their defensive coordinator is adding a little bit of fuel to the fire. And we know he's a guy that he's a little arrogant, and that's cool. Look, at this level, there should be competitive arrogance, or else you shouldn't be at this level. You should think that you're the best at what you do, whether you're a coach or a player or a GM or whatever the case may be. Competitive arrogance is what got you here. So when I hear their defensive coordinator, Jim Schwartz, calling this, and he's enacting the no hat rule this week. That's the phrase that they're using, no hat rule. What does that mean? No NFC East caps will be worn in our building. That's the mantra that they're going with this week. It's clever. Give them some motivation to make these guys want to come out and kick our ass. No hat rule. We don't get hats. They don't get hats. We can't win the division. They don't win the division. That's the mantra they're going with. Pretty damn clever. We are in for a damn fight on Sunday night. We are in for a mother effing fight. One that I did not want. But we got it. So what you gonna do with it now? That's the real question. I don't love this spot. I'm just going to tell you that again. I don't know what's going to become of Alex Smith. I don't know if Taylor Heineke is going to start. I don't love this spot for us. Just going to tell you that as bluntly as I can. I'm not in love with this position that we found ourselves in. We didn't need to be here, but here we are. All the momentum is with the Cowboys. There's one thing that I keep telling myself. Every team in this division, at some point, except for Philadelphia, but the three teams that are in it right now, the Giants, the Cowboys, and us, have had a 4-game winning streak at some point this season. Some point. Ran off 4, looked like the best team in the division. Giants did it, when they beat the Seahawks with Colt McCoy, and they were riding high, and that was 4 straight. And everybody said, well, including me, Giants going to win this division. They're the best team. Then we beat the Steelers. And we said, whoa. And I said, wait a minute, bring back my shit. That's my division. Bring it back. Put it down. Right here. Thank you. And we went on a 4-game win streak. We beat Cincinnati. We beat Dallas. We beat Pittsburgh. We beat San Francisco. And after the Giants went on their 4-game skid, they hit their peak. They went down. We hit our 4-game win streak. We hit our peak. And now we're going down. Dallas has not won their 4th game yet. This next one would be their 4th in a row. They beat Cincinnati. They beat San Francisco. They beat the Eagles. And now they're going to beat the Giants. And unfortunately for us, that 4th game in a row will be enough for them to clinch the NFC East. And if we don't do something to stop it, it's going to be enough for them to be hot at the right time and get their 4-game win streak at the right time and get into the playoffs. We'll talk more about this game later on in the week. Obviously, there's a lot to discuss. I don't need to go over the Panthers game anymore. I've said everything I needed to say. I don't need to do the defensive and offensive film and all that stuff. We'll get right to the shits with the Eagles because this is going to be a condensed week for me. I'm not going to do the Friday show. It's going to be Wednesday and it's going to be Friday or Thursday. So tomorrow, we're going to come in here and we're going to take our first look at the Eagles. We're going to hear what Rivera has to say at practice. You're going to get Rivera. You're going to get Scott Turner. I'm dying to hear what he's got to say. And then you're going to get Alex Smith more likely than not. Maybe even Taylor Heineke. So I want to hear what everybody's got to say. We're going to find out who practiced. Terry's not practicing. I'm going to tell you right now. Don't look for it. He's not practicing. I'm more interested in Antonio Gibson. Does he practice? Is it limited? Is it full? Is he out? How did his toe respond to his first real action in 3 weeks? That's what I'm more anxious to see. And Alex Smith, of course, what does he do? Does he practice at all? Is he sitting out? Is he a DNP? Is he a limited? Is he a full go? That's what I'm looking to see. But I'm not looking for Terry. Terry, if he practices, won't be until like Friday, and it'll be on a limited basis. I just don't see Terry playing in this game. This is why you needed to win against the Panthers, so you wouldn't find yourself in a position against an Eagles team that is game and more than capable of beating us. They're due for a sweep. They're due for a sweep. Let me repeat that. They're due for a sweep. But it won't come easy and it won't come cheap. We'll talk about it more tomorrow, though. I won't hold you up any more than I already have. I really appreciate you guys for joining me on the show. If you haven't already done so, what are you waiting on? Go ahead and subscribe to the Louie T Network for more great content. Turn on your notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And also hit that like button if you haven't already done so. I really do appreciate all of you out there. Can't state that enough. With that said, I'm going to glide to the side, allow you to enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm your man, Louie T. This has been Washington Football Nightly. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.
Here comes the diesel. Here comes the diesel. There's the snap. Hand to Riggins. Good hold. He's got the first down to the 40. He's gone.